In the northwestern corner of Africa, just above the wind-blown Sahara, we find the picturesque little empire of Morocco, stamping ground of the famous French Foreign Legion. Untouched by the changing customs of the outer world throughout the centuries, its walled cities are still entered. Come to Fez, most enchanting of all the cities of Morocco, founded more than 1,100 years ago by the Sultan Idris II.
There we go again, Junior. We're off on the road to Morocco. This taxi is tough on the spine.
Beats the bus, huh, Junior?
Beats me. Where we're going, why we're going, how can we be sure?
I'll lay you 8 to 5 that we meet Dorothy Lamour.
Off on the road to Morocco. Hang on till the end of the line.
Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Spanglish, where I'm only now realizing the limitations in my title choice. This was meant to be episode 3, but something happened and it's become episode 2, so you'll notice some continuity errors whenever episode 2 eventually comes out. But that's, you'll see. But anyway, this is my second episode. Hopefully I've tried to take some advice from what I heard from the previous episode and apply it into this one and make it better. I'm going to try and make these episodes smaller so I can upload more often. Also it's easier to edit. And also because apparently when I make long introductory episodes, people think it's too long and don't bother watching them, which I think is a really interesting thing to find out, especially because I only sent the video to friends and family, so it means that only friends and family saw it and they didn't watch the whole thing, which turns out you can put a limit on love. Anyway, episode 2, Road to Morocco. I spent the last 10 days, a week ago, in Morocco, and I had probably one of the most amazing experiences in my life. Morocco is on a whole nother level. There's only so many words I can use to describe and explain the things I saw and how I felt about being there, but it really doesn't do it justice. The best description I can think of would probably be like an assault on all your senses. From the sounds you hear, the sights you see, the smells, everything. It's just borderline overwhelming. It's like, it's just under it being too much. From the hustle and the bustle of the streets, the people you meet, the places you go, it feels like it's a whole new world. I really mean it when I say that words don't do this country justice. It's the type of place that you really need to be there to experience and witness for yourself. Okay, so for me, I tried to see as much of the country as I could. So from where I'm here in Spain, I took a bus over to a city near Gibraltar, Algeciras, And from there I got a ferry that took me across the Gibraltar Strait to Tangier. From there I went to Fez via Chef Sharon, the Blue City. Spent a few days in Fez, then took a train from Fez to Casablanca for a night. Then from Casablanca to Marrakesh. Spent a few days in Marrakesh. Went on a desert tour from Marrakesh to the Mazouga Desert, which is the western end of the Sahara. Then back to Marrakesh for a few days, and then concluded my adventure in Morocco. While I was in Morocco and booking my accommodation, I tried to stay within the Medinas, or the old cities. In the Medina, one of my favorite things to go see were the markets. You had like stores going on for kilometers along all these narrow winding streets throughout the city, selling all sorts of things, everything from butchers to spice shops to ceramics to leather goods, you name it. It's incredible. They had such a wide variety of different stores, different items, different crafts, all sorts of things. As you walk down these streets, every second store owner is trying to pull you in and show you what they have, try and sell you something. So you've got this like it's crazy hustle and bustle, so many different things happening, and in every different direction with like people everywhere. The food, oh my goodness, oh, the food was so good. I don't know if it's just because I'm so deprived of good food because I've been cooking for myself and I might as well be eating like a caveman. But the food in Morocco was so nice. Oh, the spices and the flavors, oh my goodness. And meat! The meat was so nice. Oh my goodness. Can't even begin to stress how much I miss the food. Like, every meal I was having it almost exclusively. I was having like tagine with you have olives and lemons. It's like something like I never even thought of having like olives and lemon with chicken before, and like the mix of the citrusy and the savory, but together it works so well. And so the meat is like so soft, and all the flavors are like, it's like one big dance, and all the flavors are invited, and it's oh so nice. Probably the highlight of my time there was the 3 days I took on the tour into the desert. So from Marrakesh, it's about a 10-hour drive to get to the edge of the Sahara. And so we were in like a minivan with about, I think 15 or 17 other people, so other tourists from around the world. I met some really interesting people, an Italian couple, and a German couple, and a few Americans, and a few other Aussies as well. So all on this tour together for the next 3 days as we travel to get to the desert, and then spend a night and a day in the desert, and then make our way back. It was really nice getting to meet these people and get to know them, and form a bit of a friendship over the 3 days we spent together. So we left really early in the morning from Marrakesh for the desert tour. It was like, I can't remember, it was like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Very, very early. It was still dark outside, and so we left because it's about very far distance. So the first stop, like pit stop we made along the way, was in basically the minibus had to travel across the High Atlas Mountains, which is the main mountain range, the tallest mountain range in Morocco, and I think North Africa as well, but I could be wrong about that. So it's the High Atlas Mountains, and it's like these very breathtaking views, because you see like the valleys, the green valleys and the red rocks, and it's quite a remarkable sight to see. So you've got like the green valleys, the red rocks, but then also the like ice snow-capped mountains in the horizon, which is quite amazing to see. And they look so close to you, but I'm sure they're probably like a few hundred kilometers away. So yeah, the High Atlas Mountains, we drove through them to get to our first stop for the first day, which was the Ait bin Hadou Aitvin Hadu, I think it's called, Casbah, which is an old village. I mean, people still live there today, but it's one of like the oldest. It's a very old village that is on the main trade route that went through the Sahara. So for anyone traveling to, like, you know, this city is centuries old. Anyone traveling to Marrakesh would have stopped at this one city, and it's become very famous because it's become a very popular filming set in like many TV shows like Game of Thrones and a few movies like Gladiator. And so the city it's like all built on a mountain, and when you get to the top you see all like, it's just nothing. It's just flat earth for as far as you can see, and then you see how the trade route would have continued through the valley, because you see the one city, and then if you look behind that you can see a tiny little speck that would have been the next city, and so the trade route would have like linked them all together. So we stayed there for the night, and the next day we head off for the deserts. At about midday we got to the edge of the Sahara, which is pretty cool because as you're driving you see on the road like your typical brown earth, just flat horizon, maybe mountains, an odd tree on the like in the distance, but it's just flat brown earth. But then you see these red dunes like dead ahead, and it almost looks like it's not real, like a painting. And so you just see these red dunes, and as you get closer you see like the brown earth slowly starting to become this like shiny red orange sand as you get closer. And once you get there you can literally stand at the edge of the desert. Behind you is all the brown dirt, and in front of you is the sand of the Sahara Desert. And so basically to get from the edge of the Sahara into where we were staying for the night to the desert camp, we had to go on camelback, and so about 20 of us all on a camel led by one of the Berber people, or like the native people of Morocco. And so we all got on these camels, and my camel was really grumpy, did not want to be in the middle for sure, definitely wanted to lead. It kept on trying to go its own direction, which was quite terrifying because I was very scared I was going to get lost in the Sahara. But yeah, so we start traveling, and then it took us about 2 hours, I would say, on camelback to get to the desert. However, we stopped in the middle because so you stop and they let you off, and you climb up one of the dunes to watch the sun set. Climbing up a dune is something that was probably one of the most surprising experiences for me, because I had no idea how physically exhausting it is. Because the sand in the desert is so fine, your feet are just sinking in every step you take. And so if your pace is like 1 meter, you're only going up like maybe 50 centimeters each time because you keep on sinking back. And so it's just really draining. And then watching the sunset was pretty cool. So you got, for as far as you can see, you got all the orange dunes, because by now we're like pretty deep in the desert after about an hour. And so you see orange dunes for as far as you can see, and then the sun setting on the horizon, and they start to like glow, and then they glow in the sunsets, and it becomes dark. And so headed back on the camels for another hour towards the camp. And this is when I realized how cold the desert can really get. During the day, when you're out and the sun's up, I was walking around in a t-shirt half the time because it's just really warm. It's like very nice weather. But as soon as it goes down, the temperature drops, and it drops very quickly. We were on the camel for about another hour, and as soon as we got to the camp, I was freezing. The next morning was even worse. We had to wake up really early to leave the camp because they wanted us to get on the camels early so we can watch the sunrise again. And it was so cold. I had to like mentally tell myself to wiggle my toes just to make sure they were still there. I don't think I've ever felt that cold before in my life. So now that the sun was gone and the night is here, just going outside and looking at the stars was another phenomenal experience. I have never seen that many stars before in my life. I guess that's about sums it up, my trip to Morocco. Once again, this video is really not going to do it justice. I cannot stress how much I recommend people go travel to Morocco. It was truly an amazing experience. This video really doesn't begin to explain how phenomenal it was. But anyway, that about does it. Episode 3 coming soon. Stay tuned. There will be another video, bonus video, on the square in Marrakesh. But until then, adios!